So I moved onto the Canal onto my own boat in November 2014, so a year and a half. I grew up in the countryside. First of all on a tiny island, then on a big farm. I moved to London first of all when I was 18, did all of that. Moved to Bath, went away and lived overseas in a big city, came back to Bath, and I wanted to go back and live in the countryside, but there's no jobs there, so it was a case of trying to find somewhere to live in the country but work here.
Well, I'm Sebastian, this is my wife Louise. We've been living on the boat for about 4 years, and we came on to the Canal very much as a continuation of travel. We'd been travelling for years previously, mainly Asia, and when we looked at a map of England, we realised that the best way to explore this country and its history was the 2,000 miles of canal. Well, the movement is a big aspect for me. I think a house becomes quite static, you've got the same people around, you end up being in a very comfortable routine every day. You can change your routine every time you move, because you're always in a different place, so you've always got to cycle different places, you've always got to be somewhere else, you've always got new neighbours. So the joy of travelling.
You arrive in London, you're on a boat, and within 20 minutes people were offering us help and, introducing themselves, seeing if we need anything.
I can't imagine moving into a house and 20 people welcoming you and saying, anything you need or want, just give us a knock.
The best thing about living on the Canal is that it's a massive community, so everyone knows everyone. It's basically a floating village, which is nice, and you're always in the country, but you can choose to be in the city when you want to, and everyone's really helpful. We all look after each other, so it's basically like an old school village but in the modern day. Someone had just bought a boat and they had to take it into one of the marinas to get some work done. It's kind of a tricky marina to get through, so they put it on Facebook. We have a Facebook group, they put it on that, and then 3 people offered their time to go and help them do that. People don't do that in normal society anymore, which is why it's like a village. It's that old school feeling. Even if it's just a smile on a really rainy, horrid day, or offering to go get some shopping for someone if they're stuck somewhere. It's all about just helping each other. I think that's what other people could get from it.
You can't be excessively greedy. I mean, you can have a little bit bigger boat, but it can't be massive. The disparity, the difference isn't huge, and it doesn't matter who you are. It's the only community I've ever experienced where you can be anything. I think a big part of it is time. A big part of it is again, because you can't, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because you can't use the TV, you do sit out more. Because there's only one path, everyone has to come by. I'm sure if more housing estates got built with communal allotments or gardens, you'd have a strong community. But everything is very much built to be separate. Nothing that I've witnessed so far has been built to incorporate a community, and I think that could be taken into planning, into the way people are. Kind of interest. I can't remember there being any boats here. I'm sure there were, but it was only kind of later on, we were in Thailand thinking, well, how shall we go around, that we thought, well, I'm sure I've seen people living on these kind of boats. Well, let's look into it. And then we came back to Bath, walked along the canal again, and straight away got invited on 3 boats where and we were saying, well, we're quite interested, and people were so warm and open, said, well, come and have a look. This is what you need, this is how it works.